So, what did Will Smith do to deserve all this nonsense? Like every week, every week there's nonsense for Will Smith. It's as if every week Will Smith is dragged away right through the mud, like at random. He never knows what's gonna happen. He'll walk out of his home and he's tackled and he's dragged through the mud every single week. What did he do to deserve it? Now that might seem like a stupid question because you might just say, of course, he slapped Chris Rock, but all this? It's worth all this? I don't know, people. I don't know. I mean, Chris Rock is fine. He's good. I mean, by his own admission, he went out of his way a handful of times during his special to let us know that he's not a victim. His own words, right? So he must be fine. He must be fine. Maybe it's just me being from Baltimore, okay? The Baltimorean in me, violence is just what we do. So it just didn't seem, I mean, it's not nothing, but it didn't seem like that big of a deal, right? I mean, people are acting like Will Smith stabbed the Pope or something like that. It's just, to me, being a Baltimorean, like, if someone had run in and told me, hey, someone outside just got slapped, and I asked them why, what happened, and they told me there's this dude talking smack about this other dude's wife, and so that dude slapped him, and I'd be like, yeah, you shouldn't have been talking shit, right? And that would be me, and that would be the end of it, and I would move on with my day. I wouldn't be trolling that person forever. I don't get it, people. I don't get it. And I put myself in Will Smith's shoes as well. I mean, deserving of so much respect, more than he get, even before the slap. I feel like there was just a lack of respect for Will Smith. And, which I also don't understand, because everything he did in TV, in hip hop, in the movies, and that's a big deal, especially if you go back in time. In that time period, it was a big deal for black people, for black men. I think that Will Smith deserves a lot more respect, I think. And to have all that, to become a laughing stock, even before the slap, because of Jada. And then even more so, Jada opening up the door with this entanglement stuff, opening up the door for Will Smith to be a punchline. All that bubbling up, and then everything, I think it was rather recent. It was recent when Jada said everything about, her medical condition and said how insecure she felt about it, and then Chris Rock makes a joke about it. And now all that is bubbling up on the inside of Will Smith, and people are laughing at him there. I'm not saying he should have slapped Chris Rock, but I understand, right? We have a new story out, right? So we have Brother Bilal, I think is his name. Brother Bilal, he came out and said that Will Smith, back in the day, apparently Brother Bilal used to work for Will Smith and used to be a friend of Will Smith's. And back in the day, said he caught Will Smith having sex with Dwayne Martin. And now it's a whole big thing, right? Once again, Will Smith walked outside his door, tackled, dragged through the mud. And this whole thing's weird. It's weird, number one, that we're listening to this dude named Brother Bilal. Who is he? I Googled him. I still don't know who he is. No idea. I Googled him. You can Google him too. And I looked down the list, and it's just recent stories of things that he said recently about Will Smith. And he said a lot of, he really went into detail with Will Smith as well in a nasty way. So I don't think that he's the best witness, especially if he's an ex-friend of somebody. He has everything to gain by putting this out there about Will. It just doesn't seem like he'd be the best person to listen to. Doesn't mean that Will Smith didn't do it. Like, Will Smith denies it. But, who knows? It's also weird to me that we're so caught up in Will Smith's bedroom. Anyone's bedroom, really. Unless the person's banging like a giraffe or something like that, who cares who they're having sex with? To me, like, now if they're doing it in a weird way, my ears might perk up. Okay, to be honest. They're like, there's Will Smith having sex with somebody and he's dressed up like a clown and, he's throwing pies in her face while he's, I don't know. Who knows? If there's weird stuff like that happening, I don't know what this is. If there's weird stuff like that happening, then okay, my ears will perk up, but it's still none of our business. It still doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as it's consensual, do what you want. Now, the weird thing is too, we get so caught up, especially the black community, on just whether someone might be gay or whatnot. Like this happened with Dwight not that long ago, Dwight Howard. And he was accused of sexual assault. And again, people got so caught up in the Dwight Howard gay thing that you forgot about the assault thing. And here too, like it's like we're using homophobia to have another gotcha moment with Will, another opportunity to tackle Will Smith and drag him through the mud, right? And that's just weird to me. It's also weird that Jada Pinkett Smith is now coming to Will Smith's defense after she's been causing him so much harm. Like Jada's part of the problem. Like it's like every time Jada speaks and she shoots an arrow into Will Smith. So Will Smith comes out of his home, he's tackled, he's dragged through the mud, he's like, ugh, and then the arrow just hits him in the chest. Every single time she speaks, he's just full of arrows. Stop speaking, Jada. If you love your husband like you say you do, stop speaking. I just don't know when. I just wonder when it's gonna stop. There's been people who have done way worse than Will Smith, and we've given them another chance. We let them go. Maybe sometimes we shouldn't have, right? I'm thinking of Deshaun Watson. I call him the penis monster. He has been accused by at least 26 women, at least sexual misconduct, and a couple of sexual assaults in there. And yet he got like $230 million to play for a football team. And nobody saying nothing. Not at the extent that people are saying stuff about Will. And we just kind of let it go. Just the league let it go and just let him play. It's like it's no big deal. And what's worse? What Deshaun Watson, the penis monster, been accused of doing, or what Will Smith did? Slap Chris Rock. Right? There's Michael Vick actually went to prison, found the Lord, changed his life around, dogfighting, right? And now there's still some haters out there, a couple of them sprinkled in there, but for the most part, people let him go and let him live this new life and let that be in the past and just let Michael Vick be Michael Vick. What's worse, the dogfighting or Will Smith slapping somebody, right? An ugly moment of somebody who we all have ugly moments, like it's just, R. Kelly, still locked up. But there's a lot of people that maybe even you, who if R. Kelly were released today and he decided he was going on tour immediately, a lot of people would sign up for that tour. The Remix to Ignition tour. Absolutely. Remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the prison. Everybody that will be there. We'll be there. I might be there. I love R. Kelly. But Will Smith, all he did, had a bad moment, is in front of everybody. We can't seem to let that go, man. I don't understand. I'm not calling the dude a hero, but I don't know that he deserves all this. So, who cares what he's got going on in the bedroom, Let him be free. Just me.